It is day 88 of reading through the scriptures, but yesterday I was talking about the menorah, which is the lampstand in the Bible, and they made it in yesterday's reading. But I was trying to explain it and bumped my phone wrong, and it shut off the video, and I don't know how to link two videos together. So anyway, it was saying there was like an almond blossom up here at the top, and maybe one at the joint here in the actual one. So it'd be the shape of this. This is just like a candle holder, but the original one would have been almond blossom at the top and probably down here too. And it was made of pure gold. It was a talent, which is about 75 pounds of pure gold. So that's quite valuable, just the gold. But it was also made out of one piece beaten metal, which I think it said, which is pretty amazing in and of itself. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to be reading Exodus 38 today, and the last couple of days I gave an introduction telling you what we'd be reading about, and nobody commented that they liked that. So hopefully we'll just read it today. Every time I bump my screen wrong on my phone, I lose the video, and so then I get two parts. So that's been happening a lot lately. I don't know why. Sorry about it, but those videos are part 2, part 1 type videos. Anyway, Exodus 38. And he made the slaughter place of a standing offering of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide, square, and 3 cubits high. This is what they call the brazen altar. And he made its horns on its 4 corners. The horns were of it. And he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils for the slaughter place, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the forks and the fire holders. And he made all its utensils of bronze. And he made a grating for the slaughter place, a bronze network under its rim, midway from the bottom. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 corners of the bronze grating, as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. And he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the slaughter place, with which to lift it. And he made the slaughter place hollow with boards. And he made the basin of bronze and its stand of bronze, from the bronze mirrors of the serving women who did service at the door of the tent of appointment. And he made the courtyard. For the south side, the screens of the courtyard were of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long. There are 20 columns and there are 20 sockets of bronze. And the hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the north side, the screens were 100 cubits long. There are 20 columns and there are 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the west side, there were screens of 50 cubits, and there are 10 columns and there are 10 sockets. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits. 50 cubits of screens on the one side, with their 3 columns and 15 cubits of screens on the one side, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets, and 15 cubits of screens the other side of the courtyard gate, on this side and that side, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. All the screens of the courtyard all around were of fine woven linen. And the sockets for the columns were of bronze, the hooks were of the columns, and their bands were of silver, and the overlap of their tops were of silver. And all the columns of the courtyard had bands of silver. And the covering for the gate of the courtyard was the work of an embroiderer of blue and purple and scarlet material, and of fine woven linen, and 20 cubits long. And the height along its width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the screens of the courtyard. And the columns were 4, and their sockets of bronze 4. Their hooks were of silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands was of silver. And all the pegs of the dwelling place and of the courtyard all around were of bronze. These were the appointments of the dwelling place of the witness, which was appointed by the mouth of Moshe for the service of the Levites, by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aharon the priest. And Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehuda, made all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And with him Oholiab, son of Achisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet material, and in fine linen. all the gold prepared for the work, all the work of the set-apart place, and it was the gold of the wave offering, came to be 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the set-apart place. And the silver from the ones counted of the congregation was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the set-apart place. A becca, half a shekel for a head, according to the shekel of the set-apart place, for everyone passing over to those counted, from 20 years old and above, for 603,550 men. Men is italicized here, so I thought that was the count of the whole company, not just the men. And 100 talents of silver were for casting the sockets of the set-apart place and the bases of the veil. 100 sockets from the 100 talents, a talent for each socket. And the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the columns. Shekel, and overlaid their tops. Sorry, I lost my place for a bit. And made bands for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the door of the tent of appointment, and the bronze solder place, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils for the solder place, and the sockets for the courtyard all around, and the bases for the courtyard gate, and all the pegs for the dwelling place, and all the pegs for the courtyard all around. The next chapter we're reading is Jeremiah chapter 22. Thus said Yahweh, go down to the house of the sovereign of Yehuda, and there you shall speak this word, and shall say, hear the word of Yahweh, O sovereign of Yehuda, you who sit on the throne of David, you and your servants and your people who enter these gates. Thus said Yahweh, do right ruling and righteousness, and deliver him who is robbed out of the hand of the oppressor. Do not maltreat nor do violence to the stranger, the fatherless, or the widow, nor shed innocent blood in this place. For if you certainly do this word, then there shall enter in by the gates of this house sovereigns sitting on the throne of David, riding on horses and in chariots, he and his servants and his people. But if you do not obey these words, I swear by myself, declares Yahweh, that this house shall become a ruin. For thus said Yahweh to the house of the sovereign of Yehuda, you are like Gilead to me, the head of Lebanon. But I shall make you a wilderness, and cities with which are not inhabited. And I shall prepare destroyers against you, each with his weapons, and they shall cut down your choice cedars and throw them into the fire. And many nations shall pass by the city, and shall say to one another, why has Yahweh done so to this great city? Then they shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahweh their Elohim, and bowed themselves to other mighty ones, and served them. Do not weep for the dead, nor mourn for him. Weep bitterly for him who goes away, for he shall never come back, nor see the land of his birth. For thus said Yahweh concerning Shalom, son of Yoshiahu, sovereign of Yehuda, who reigned instead of Yoshiahu, Josiah, his father, who went from this place, he shall never come back. But he shall die in the place where they have exiled him, and not see this land again. Woe to him who builds his house without righteousness, and his rooms without right ruling, who uses his neighbor's service without wages, and does not give him his wages, who says, I am going to build myself a wide house with spacious rooms, and cut out windows for it, paneling it with cedar and painting it in red. Do you reign because you enclose yourself in cedar? Did not your father eat and drink and do righteous ruling and righteousness? Then it was well with him. He defended the cause of the poor and needy. Then it was well. Was this not to know me, declares Yahweh? But your eyes and your heart are only upon your own greedy gain, and on shedding innocent blood, and on oppression and doing violence. Therefore thus said Yahweh concerning Jehoiakim, son of Yoshiahu, sovereign of Yehuda, let them not lament for him, alas, my brother, or alas, my sister. Let them not lament for him, alas, master, or alas, his excellency. He shall be buried, the burial place of a donkey, dragged and thrown outside the gates of Jerusalem. Go up to Lebanon and cry out, lift up your voice in Bashan, and cry from Abarim, for all your lovers are destroyed. I have spoken to you in your ease, but you said, I do not listen. This has been your way from your youth, for you did not obey my voice. Let all your shepherds be devoured by the wind, and let your lovers go into captivity. Then you shall be ashamed and humiliated for all your evil. You who dwell in Lebanon, being nested in the cedars, How you shall groan when pangs come upon you, like the pains of a woman giving birth. As I live, declares Yahweh, though Coniah, son of Jehoiakim, the sovereign of Yehuda, were the signet on my right hand, I would still pull you off from there. And I shall give you into the hand of those who seek your life, into the hand of those whose face you fear, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babylon, and the hand of the Kasdim. And I shall hurl you out, and your mother who bore you, into another land where you were not born, and there you shall die. But they shall not return to the land to which their being yearns to return. Is this man Coniah a despised broken pot, or an undesirable vessel? Why are they hurled out, and he and his descendants cast into a land which they did not know? O land, 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 hear the word of Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, write this man down as childless, a strong man who is not to prosper in his days. For none of his descendants shall prosper, sitting on the throne of David, or rule any more in Yehuda. Okay, let's go to Psalms. And we're on 88 today. O Yahweh, Elohim of my deliverance, by day I have cried out, in the night I also before you. Let my prayer come before you, incline your ear to my cry. For my being is filled with evils, and my life draws near to Sheol. I have been reckoned among those who go down to the pit. I have become like a man who has no strength, released among the dead, like slain ones lying in the burial site, whom you have remembered no more, and whom have been cut off from your hand. You have put me into the lowest pit, in dark places in the depths. Your wrath has rested heavily upon me, and you have afflicted me with all your breakers. Selah. You have put away my friends far from me. You have made me an abomination to them. I am shut in and do not go out. My eye grows dim because of affliction. Yahweh, I have called upon you all day long. I have stretched out my hands to you. Would you work wonders for the dead? Would the dead rise to praise you? Selah. Is your loving commitment declared in the burial site? Your trustworthiness in the place of destruction? Are your wonders known in the dark, and your remembrance in the land of no remembrance? Your righteousness in the land of no remembrance? But unto you I have cried, O Yahweh, and in the morning my prayer comes before you. Yahweh, why do you reject me? Why do you hide your face from me? I am afflicted and dying from childhood. I have borne frightening matters from you. I am in despair. Your fierce wrath has gone over me. Your onslaughts have cut me off. They surrounded me like water all day long. They closed in upon me altogether. You have put loved one and companion far from me. Darkness is my close friend. And our last chapter is John something. We did the crucifixion yesterday, so whatever comes after that. Resurrection. John chapter 20. And on day 1 of the week, Miriam from Magdala came early to the tomb while it was still dark, and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. So she ran and came to Shimon Kepha and to the other taught one whom Yeshua loved, and said to them, They have taken the master out of the tomb, and we do not know where they laid him. Then Kepha and the other taught one went out, and they were going to the tomb, and the two were running together, but the other taught one outran Kepha and came to the tomb first. Stooping down, he saw the linen wrappings lying, but he did not go in. Then Shimon Kepha came, following him, and went into the tomb. And he saw the linen wrappings lying, and the cloth which had been on his head, not lying with the linen wrappings, but folded up in a place by itself. So then the other taught one, who came to the tomb first, also went in. And he saw and believed, for they did not yet know the scripture that he has to rise again from the dead. Therefore the taught ones went away again by themselves. But Miriam was standing outside by the tomb weeping. Then, as she wept, she stooped down to the tomb, and saw 2 messengers in white sitting, one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yeshua had been laid. And they said to her, Woman, why do you weep? She said to them, Because they took away my master, and I do not know where they laid him. Having said this, she turned around and saw Yeshua standing, but she did not know that it was Yeshua. Yeshua said to her, "Woman, why do you weep? Whom do you seek?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said to him, "Master, if you have carried him away, say to me where you put him, and I shall take him away." Yeshua said to her, "Miriam." She turned and said to him, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Yeshua said to her, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and to your Father, and to my Elohim and your Elohim." Miriam and Magdala came announcing to the taught ones that she had seen the Master, and that he had told her this. When therefore it was evening on that day, day 1 of the week, and when the doors were shut where the taught ones met, for fear of the Yehudim, Yeshua came and stood in their midst, and said to them, "Peace to you, Shalom Alechem." And having said this, he showed them his hands and his side. The taught ones therefore rejoiced when they saw the Master. Then Yeshua said to them again, "Peace to you. As the Father has sent me, I also send you." And having said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the set-apart Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven them. If you retain the sins of any, they are being retained." But Thomas, called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Yeshua came. So the other taught ones said to him, "We have seen the Master." But he said to them, "Unless I see in his hands the mark of the nails, and put my finger into the imprint of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I shall by no means believe." And after 8 days his taught ones were again inside, and Thomas with them. Yeshua came, the doors having been shut, and he stood in the midst, and said, "Peace to you." And then he said to Thomas, "Bring your finger here, and see my hands, and bring your hand and put it into my side. And do not be unbelieving, but believing." And Thomas answered and said to him, "My Master and my Elohim." Yeshua said to him, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and have believed." There were indeed many other signs that Yeshua did in the presence of his taught ones, which are not written in this book. But these have been written so that you believe that Yeshua is the Messiah, the Son of Elohim, and that believing you might possess life in his name.